Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we created this show for you. We created for you because we want everybody with an invisible condition, no matter what it is, to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they have a voice, they have a community, and they are not alone. So to that end, I am very excited to have my guest today. I'm not even sure what I mean, I remember how we connected, but it was one of those God things. It was like, how would I have ever found this guy unless there was a connection to a connection to a connect? It was crazy. I don't even remember how to explain to you how we connected, but I'm so glad we did. His name is Leland Holgate, and he was in a boating accident that left him as a quadriplegic, which is that would have been a crazy enough story in itself, but he was determined not to stay that way. So after about 2 months of a unique physical therapy method that we're going to talk about, most of the feeling came back in his back, arms, and legs, and he regained the ability to walk normally in about a year, which is like mind-blowing enough, right? And then he also had to deal with a lot of, emotional pain throughout his life, partly because of military stuff, causing him to, have trouble with, alcohol and drugs. But after he got out of the military, he was introduced to a yoga program that diminished his pain and focused his mind. And Leland knew he had found his calling when he started training to be a yoga instructor. So he also created Warriors for Life America, a nonprofit concentrating on bringing balance back to the lives of our military veterans, which is huge, especially in the town I live in Colorado Springs. We've got so much military here. I can't imagine how valuable that would be. We're excited to have him. Let's welcome to show Leland. We are so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hey there. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man, this is so cool. I'll tell you what, being paralyzed is not in itself an invisible condition, really. I mean, it's, the show is called Invisible Condition. Being paralyzed, doesn't really seem invisible, but you recovered from it twice, which is the mind-blowing thing. Can you just tell us briefly kind of about that boating accident, and then maybe share any, conditions that may have been invisible that you faced afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first time was in '99. We just got back from the Kosovo conflict. So I was busy with the war efforts there, logistics and support. And when we got back, of course, you can imagine we had a lot of steam to blow off. So we went out, and as per usual, we can't just do regular, low rev type stuff. We have to do get the haunches up and turn the hair in the back of your neck up, right? So we got one of the fastest watercrafts we could find, and decided it would be a really good idea to get pulled behind it on an inner tube. But instead of like regular inner tubing, like you and I typically know, this time we kicked it up. We took it up to about 40, 50 miles an hour, which is just, it's just dumb. Right. But of course, I'm 19. Most all of us are in the same age bracket. So not really a whole bunch of sense in the group. So we're out there having a good time. And boat goes one way. I get slingshotted off of the inner tube and folded like a lawn chair over the top of the water for about 100 yards. And if anybody knows water at high velocities, it's like concrete. There's no give to it. So all I remembered was water and then blackness. And that was it. Completely gone. In fact, I had snapped my neck at C1, C2. So everything shut off. And I mean everything. I was dead for 3 minutes and 48 seconds. They had to pull me to the shore. And thank God a state trooper was right there and started resuscitation on me right away. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's quite the start. Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah. No, I remember watching my dad have a water skiing accident. Not quite as crazy as you guys, but he was water skiing behind the boat. And I just remember watching him, and he, I don't know, stepped out of the ski or hit his foot wrong or something. And he just ran across the water and bam. And it was in blue from head to toe after that, man. That hitting the water like that is, it's like hitting concrete. So yeah, that's no joke. Just for everybody that's watching, I just want to throw this out there. Anyone who has questions about, anything like this, any kind of, paralysis or serious injury that is debilitating and reduces mobility and stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to get specific or anything, but we're going to be broadcasting on several platforms. Reach out through one of them. This is your guy right here. You want to touch base with anybody that knows what they're talking about with this. This is your chance. So, and of course we'll have contact information form as well. During the show, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So if you have questions, this is your chance right here. So, who better, So, good Lord, man. So, okay. So you've been through a lot of stuff. Let's see, abuse as a child, harrowing experiences in the military, losing your dad, and being paralyzed twice. Yeah. At what point were you introduced to yoga as a means of healing? Because there's a lot of healing to happen there.
Sure. Yeah, that was thankfully after they gave me my diagnosis and told me I was a quadriplegic and showed me the scan that showed the contusion the size of a silver dollar at C1, C2 on my spinal column. After that, and getting past the impending doom and the doctor telling me basically you're screwed, deal with it. In so many terms, I'm sure some of us have all heard that, right? It's like the doctor walks in and just vacuums hope out of the room. Like, what? I thought you were supposed to help me, man.
Right.
So after getting past, it took about 3 days to get past my self-loathing, woe is me stuff. And rightfully so. I'm laying in bed at 19. Basically, my life had been changed completely. Everything disappeared. There was no special forces training for me. There was none of the dreams that I had going on. And thankfully, because I had decided, no, this will not be my future, the universe gifted me an Ashtanga yogi for a physical therapist. And in 1999, you can imagine the odds of getting the one physical therapist in the military that was also a yogi. So that started me on my yoga journey. Thankfully, he walked into the room, and it was it was playful banter at first. It was kind of funny because I was a little upset and didn't understand. But he walks in the room and he goes, "We're gonna try something a little different than you're used to with typical physical therapy, and I'm gonna walk you through some yoga." And I'm just looking at him, 19 years old. I can't feel anything below my Adam's apple. I'm like, dude, if I could move my feet right now, I'd kick you in the throat. Yoga. What do you think I'm going to be able to do? And that's when he imparted on me that 90 to 95% of yoga is breath control and mindset. That's all it is. The rest of it, the stuff we see on everybody's Instagram with their really cool Lululemon outfits is like 4% of yoga. That's not that's not the real yoga.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh gosh. I've never been a yoga guy, so I don't have a clue. You lost me on that. So I wouldn't have known one way or another. You could have told me whatever you wanted and I would have believed you. So, so yoga. So okay, we'll get to that in a second, because we want to talk more about that. But I mean, after you've gone through what you've gone through with the yoga and all the things the breath work and everything, do you have any long-standing like effects or challenges or anything from that, or is it all gone?
No, thankfully I have healed 100%. There was a little, for a little while there, some neuropathy at the bottom of my feet still, a little numbness every now and then, but since that is gone, because I just continued to work on this.
Oh my gosh.
I got all of it back.
I love it. And twice. I mean, we'll get into twice in a minute, but holy smokes. So as someone who's dealt with as much as you have, what are some, because sounds like you had them at the beginning anyway. What are some of the misconceptions and judgments and that kind of thing have you encountered from others when you tell them this story,
Yeah, for one, nothing against them. I was studying to be an MD and now have since changed my doctorate path. But the medical professional community that's out there, especially our physicians, nothing against them, but it's the way that they have been trained that doesn't really take whole physical organism health into account. And of course, that means the way that our society is educated about healthcare and what it is to receive treatment, we have our already, preconceived notions of what healing looks like, what's possible, all of these other things. So of course, it's been met with skepticism, and absolutely rightfully so. My God, if somebody like myself told me their story and I didn't know them, I'd be like, get out of my, go.
You're crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, we've got not just me. Now I've got hundreds of people beating MS and turning off their cancer cells, shrinking tumors. There's so many things that we'll get into.
I love it. And, and honestly, I had an experience like that after 2 neurosurgeries within 24 hours kind of deal back in 2014 because of my condition that I was born with. And it was, I came around about 2 months after the surgeries with nonstop migraines for better part of a year. And I was on the couch all the time. It was constant migraines. And I went back to the neurosurgeon multiple times and said, what do we do about this? And of course, you're not going to be surprised by the answer. And I'm not dogging on this guy because he saved my life. Surgery is a thing sometimes. So I'm not trying to throw him under the bus or anything, but his answer was, well, I guess you're just going to have to deal with headaches. And I know. And so I said, well, nope. First of all, no.
Good for you.
I don't think so. And we because I had known enough over my lifetime that that's not always the end all be all answer, and I thought, surely there's got to be a way. I didn't have them before. I have them now. There's got to be a way to get back to not having them. What do you mean I'm going to have to live with them for the rest of my life? So anyway, yeah. So I'm with you. There's that point where you go, you're crazy. No.
Yeah.
No. So, and I'm not, the medical profession is very well respected, and I wouldn't be here without great surgeons, but
same.
They're just practicing medicine after all, right? They're just
right. They're taught by somebody else, which is why, again, like you, I don't really hold the doctors to account. They're being trained by these, medical professionals that have been around for 30, 40 years and done it forever. So it's all the way. It's the system they've been taught. And, unfortunately, they have not been given that bedside manner to understand how big in psychology hope is for somebody's healing journey,
Right. Yeah. And that just kills you. I mean, like you said, you had a 2 or 3 day, in the gutter kind of time, of, well, crap, now what, you know? And
Yeah.
same thing. I went home after I got out of that appointment. I was kind of, it was kind of a mix of dread and rage, you know? It was
Right.
like, nope, come on, really? And I kept
Yeah.
going back and forth from, oh crap, I'm never going to go off the couch. Yes, I am. What are we going to do about this? You know? And so, so yeah, yeah, totally. So, oh gosh. So obviously you went through some, let me think here for a second. Cause I'm man, we get talking and it's throwing my brain right off. Cause we got all kinds of stuff we could talk about, but for some time you went through a period of kind of emotional pain, which led to kind of addiction. How did you break the cycle with that? And what role did yoga play in overcoming those challenges? I'm guessing that was something to do with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What I found was when I healed myself when I was 19,
Mm-hmm.
I had focused on the physical component, right? Of course, I'm young.
Okay.
I just want to get the ability to walk back. I want to get out of bed. I want to, I don't want to be a prisoner in my own body anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I focused so much on the physical aspect that I just ignored my childhood. I repressed the things that I had dealt with in combat and all the stresses of military deployment and being in one of the most deployed squadrons in the entire military.
Yeah.
And of course, that took its toll because I wasn't paying attention to those things. I was only paying attention to the physical. Yeah. So,
yeah.
One of those aspects of that's what took me into the darkness as far as like drugs and alcohol, like you mentioned. I mean, it was so easy at that point. I just wanted to repress and numb.
Yeah. Well, and when you're 100% focused on the physical body aspect of it, then yeah, you're figuring out, you're trying to seek out what would relieve the pain in your physical body,
right?
Which is drugs and alcohol for some, you know. So but what about the rest of it? Physical is only part of it. So yeah. So okay, yeah.
So that was a big thing for me, and of course, that was almost a decade journey, really, of you name it, whatever I could get, pills, heroin, meth, whatever it was, because at a certain point, you can only get so much medication from the doctor before you're using more than the doctor can give you, and then the next viable option is street drugs. So that was, that was a pretty deep dark hole for about 10 years, and yoga again with breath work was there to save me.
Wow. I like, you could say what you want about yoga, but the more I talk to people, especially in this space with this show, with the amount of people that I've had on this show that have talked about about not going necessarily running to the doctor, but doing, like you said, breath work, or we had somebody talking about bioenergetics and talking about yoga and talking about, all these different, like, Eastern, Western type things. And it's just not talked about enough in this because it can go hand in hand with Western medicine. I mean, it can be, it can go together, right?
Yeah. Beautifully.
I mean, I don't know if very many doctors that would go down that road, but there might be a few, I don't know. Do you know any that, I mean, have you met some?
That's what's beautiful is during my round of lectures that I've put on at UCSD for the head of anesthesiology and neuroscience, there are more and more doctors coming around to this. In fact, I work with a group specifically called Doctors in the Field. And one of them is Dr. Joe Dispenza's lead researcher, Dr. Patel. He's the professor at UCSD that I was lecturing for. And there's a group of about 30 something doctors, neurosurgeons, pulmonologists, you name it, who are all in on meditation, breath work, and yoga.
Wow.
Yeah. And they use it and implement it in their practice. So of course, if they need pharmaceutical intervention, they've got that covered. If they need surgical intervention, they can take care of that. But they also take in whole organism care in their practice and are making sure that their clients are checking in on what they're eating and what are you digesting mentally? What are you, those things.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about. But we're going to go to a break really quick. We're going to go just for a couple of minutes to a break, and then we are going to come back. And I want to ask you about that that list of doctors and neurosurgeons and practitioners that you're talking about, because I'm very interested about learning more about that. And I know our audience is. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Don't let me forget that when we come back. But we will be back in just a minute after this. Stick around.
The Club E-Fit Home Portable Gym System is a groundbreaking new system that can help everyone at any fitness level. You can be the happy, fit person you always wanted to be, and Club E-Fit can make that happen by helping you get the body you deserve in the time you can spare. With workouts ranging from cardio, core, to total body toning, it's easy to get started. Start taking care of you today. To make the change, go to clubefit.com now.
Hi, I'm Amy Joy, and I'm the host of Get Your Together Live with Amy Joy. And you can catch me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific on the amazing Trajectory channel right here on E360 TV.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm going to talk just for a second about a partner of ours before I bring Leland back on, because they're amazing, and they're in Portland, Oregon, and it's called The Porch, and it is a coffee space that was created for community to converge. You can see it in the background here. The Porch. I was just up there not that long ago, and first of all, Portland's pretty cool. If you've never been up there, it's a pretty cool little spot, but The Porch is doing some amazing things. They're a nonprofit that seeks to provide training and opportunity to those who are, overlooked by normal society, that you wouldn't necessarily see in a shirt and tie doing a job interview. Those are their people, man. They love training them and treating coffee as a vessel to cross all the boundaries of society to bring people together. It's phenomenal. Brett and Molly are running it, and they're doing such an awesome job. And they're such amazing people. And their coffee is amazing, by the way. Their coffee is delicious. And so I've got a couple varieties of it here. And if you are a coffee nerd like I am and like really good coffee, they can ship it anywhere in the country. So go to theporchcoffeepdx.com. That is the place to go. They roast it fresh. They ship it anywhere in the country. If you want to be a part of what they're doing, I highly recommend it. Theporchcoffeepdx.com. Check them out. And just phenomenal people, phenomenal coffee. Let's bring Leland back on here, and let's get back to the story here. I cannot, I'm still, my head's still spinning a little bit, but by the way, thank you for your service, by the way. I know the military is not, it is not for everybody, and it was certainly not for me with the medical conditions that I have. So I am, it's an honor to have you here, and thank you so much for your service. First of all,
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. I know that that alone can kind of wreak havoc, I mean, so it is a sacrifice. So, so what I remember saying that I wanted to ask you about something, but my memory has completely dropped it. What was I going to ask you about? We were talking, oh gosh, I completely.
Was it the yoga, that how the yoga and breath work helped me get out of the addiction and alcoholism?
I think it was that. And then also, how did it, because you've been in a wheelchair, you were quadriplegic, and then you were a paraplegic. You've been in a wheelchair twice. Yeah. And you said this helped you get out of it twice. So the first time was with the person coming in your room, and you're reluctant, to say the least, right? But it worked, right? Yeah. You're here. It worked. Yeah. So what happened the second time?
Yeah. So it took 2 years essentially to get out of the wheelchair and walk on my own the first time. The second time was a head-on car crash, 2019, actually.
Jeez.
So yeah, I look up you know, it's one of those things where you didn't reach for your phone, but just the fact that your phone went off, or you know how on the screen of your car where the GPS is, the text message thing will come up, right? And just that second, I looked over to see who was texting, and the moment I looked back, flop, that was it. I remember looking up and going, ah. So came to, of course, I felt like I was back in the war. Essentially, it smelled like gunpowder in the car from the airbags and everything else. So of course my ears are ringing. I've got a whole bunch of vertigo and dizziness going on, and I'm like, did I just get hit with a flashbang? What the heck is happening right now?
Oh, seriously.
So, yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Man. So how long of a recovery was that?
That was 7 months from I got out of the hospital within 2 weeks, which they were like astounded, and got up on my feet. I still had to use like a cane at least, or a walker sometimes, but I was on my feet in 7 months.
Jeez, that's unbelievable. I remember what I was gonna ask you now about the organization you were talking about before we went to the break, with like the 36 doctors and surgeons and whatnot. Yeah. Tell me more about that, because that is intriguing. What's the name of the organization again?
It's called Doctors in the Field, and every single one of them, like myself, is an advanced Dr. Joe student. Dr. Joe Dispenza is my mentor, and he's absolutely amazing. In fact, in 2019, when I got into that head-on car crash, I had my breath work and his meditations, which, as you could tell, helped speed things up a little bit because I had help now.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So doctors in the field. So how if somebody was trying to get a hold, if they were wondering about that, they would just go to the website and that'll tell them all about Doctors in the Field, and they can check it out. And
if they come to that community page that I gave you, whenever you give them the link, and that community page, we have many. There you go. We have many of those doctors in the field that are in there with us. They're always interactive, which is great. So whenever you come in, you're not just asking me questions. There's neurosurgeons, cardiologists, pulmonologists that are listening in on these conversations. So at any point in time, they could chime in, and you could ask specific questions to them as well. Unbelievable.
That is so cool. Just that community exists blows my mind a little bit. Like this community right here needs to be everywhere. This needs to get out far and wide, man. So yeah, it is, I had never heard of this before I talked to you. And so I feel like I have had the wool over my eyes for so long, and now it's like, oh my gosh, you can actually contact these people directly and ask them questions. So that's phenomenal. So that's worth the price of admission right there, everybody. Just this one, this right here. So, man. So okay, we're gonna switch gears here for just a second. Tell us, you have a nonprofit organization.
I do.
Tell us about that. What is it? What are you doing there?
Yeah, so Warriors for Life America is our nonprofit that's geared towards military veterans, active duty, first responders, and their families. So what I'm doing here at the Willful Warrior, we're doing with Warriors for Life America and some other programs that are accepted by the Veterans Affairs, to just give them a comprehensive hand. What do you need? We've got a network that we can put together for you. You know, do you need to? Are you looking to buy a home? Are you needing mental health care? What do you need as a veteran? We can help you find it. So that's why I put that one together. And it was put together in 2016 after my father, who was a special forces operative, committed suicide and became one of the statistics for us veterans. And that was when I knew. I was like, dude, I got to do something. My own dad just took himself out. It's time to act on this. I found ways to get out myself. Shine the bat signal, dude.
Right? Yeah. Oh man, I'm so sorry. That's rough, man. How old were you when he did that? When he
it was 2016, so I was 34.
Okay, so it wasn't, but I mean, doesn't make it easier. I just
no. And I just climbed out of the hole of addiction and alcoholism, right? I just got my 500-hour yoga certification.
Yeah.
Life is good. I'm fighting things all right, and then
yeah. God.
So it was a little stumble there.
I mean, nobody promised this life would be easy, I guess, it was that was never a promise made to anybody. Happiness was never the the goal. I think joy maybe, but not happiness. They're different. Yeah. So, man, so how do you I mean, I've got my platform for raising awareness for invisible conditions and organizations that are helping people with those conditions, which obviously you are. How do you raise awareness about that? Especially like you besides your nonprofit, do you do like do you have a podcast or a show or anything like that you're doing that gets that out?
We actually have a podcast that we're building right now.
Okay.
But thankfully we're tied in with, the Dr. Joe community, several other communities that are out there as well. And of course, one of my favorite things is to come on shows like yours and just spread the good word. And so far we're in 31 different countries with thousands of people practicing the Willful Warrior Welcome Home method.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we're looking to grow this thing, man. Like you said, I want everybody to have access to this stuff across this should be taught in schools, man.
Right. I'm telling you, there's so much. I mean, and I feel like this is not the last we're going to see of each other because we are at Invisible Condition and our nonprofit Hydro with Hope to help people that were diagnosed with hydrocephalus with tangible resources and things. That's kind of our overarching goal, lofty goal, is to kind of turn the medical community on their head and help them to not be so mechanical with their care and explore things explore all the things they're afraid to explore now because they're afraid of getting sued, right?
Right.
They can't, God forbid, they should recommend yoga or maybe cranial sacral or something, iridology or something, God forbid, they don't want to get sued. And so, but we don't think it should be that way. Everybody should be working together and find the right care for the people, no matter what it is, whether it's medical or otherwise. So it's a big goal, but I feel like we're on the same page there. So
agreed. No, I'm like confident that in our age, we're going to see a huge difference because of what we're doing here, right? It's holistic collaboration on a level that can't be ignored. Yeah.
Holistic collaboration. I like that. That's totally it. That's exactly what it is. Oh man. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, I've heard his name before.
Yeah.
You see, obviously he's played a significant role in your life.
Yeah.
How do you, is there anything else you want to say about like how you integrate, like obviously he's a part of your programs and part of your transformational stuff that you're doing. How is that? Like, how do you incorporate that?
Yeah. So he has his own amazing programs that go along with mine beautifully. In fact, most of our Dr. Joe Advanced students, they call us peanut butter and jelly together because both of our practices go together so well, like peanut butter and jelly. Everybody's favorite thing, including myself, to do is to do one of my breathwork practices and then just go right into one of his meditations. And because of the breathwork, you're already just in that mindless state where you can just drop right in to the deepest, most amazing meditation that you've had. And it's amazing how well they fit together.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I know we had talked in our previous conversations before this about doing something like that on the show, but I know it didn't. It probably takes long enough. I don't remember what the time frame is on doing something like that. So I know that maybe next time, maybe we do that next time.
Sure.
But I don't know. You tell me. I don't know how long it takes. You're the expert, not me. So.
I can actually, if at some point you want to give everybody on the show an experience, I have a technique called 60 seconds to freedom that I created. Literally takes 60 seconds and you can feel a shift in your biochemical profile immediately.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think? Do you want to should we just
do
it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, this is something everybody, including you, can try. If you want, you can put on some just chill background music if you want, or we can just do it like this. No big deal.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't have any background music at the moment, but
no worries.
Imagine it in your mind, everybody.
Yeah, and this will be just a 60-second thing. So real quick for everybody, including yourself here, this breath is going to be in and out through the nose. You're breathing through the belly, and it's not a struggle or a strain. Just really breathe through the belly, and it'll sound like this. So you notice it's the same power in as it is out, right? What we're doing is increasing oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide. So we're creating an alkaline environment inside of your body in less than a minute. So we're going to breathe just 10 in and outs. And on the 11th inhale, I'm going to instruct you to hold your breath. So you're going to breathe in all the way to the top. Just hold your breath, but no strain or struggle. Melt. Hold your breath, but just let your body fall. Let go of your face. Release your mind and let yourself go on this beautiful ride. And by the way, if you're driving, don't do this. You're listening to this now in the car. Do not do this until you stop, please. I don't need to hear somebody went.
Yeah, I don't need to get emails about this. Yeah,
right. This show is about helping you with your health, not creating health issues. So no driving, no walking, no standing. Please be sitting down, because you can get just a little lightheaded and woozy because we are creating bliss molecules, changing the entire gas profile inside of the body. It's amazing, the stuff that happens, and we can nerd out on that after.
All right. Bring it on.
Awesome. So we're going to breathe in, just kind of hold your breath at the top. Breathe in. Hold your breath just for a second to let your shoulders fall. Let your face go. And now we're going to breathe out through the mouth all the way. Breathe with me. Seven, keep it going. Just keep breathing in and out and in and out. One more, in and out. Now breathe in and hold all the way up and hold. Hold your breath. Let your shoulders fall. Sink into that feeling and slowly start to exhale. And sit with that for just a moment. Some of you may have really went somewhere, so be very gentle with yourself. Slowly work your way back. And there we go.
Cool.
And
yeah, I'm glad I was sitting down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you get that nice little bioactivation there.
Yeah, I'm glad I was sitting down with my feet on the ground. Don't do it. I'm sitting on a stool right now. Don't rest your feet on the legs of the stool either, because you'll, So nice. Awesome. Wow. Okay. All right. On that note, I'm gonna take this down for just a second. I'll bring it back when we come back. But we're gonna go to one last commercial now that everybody's all chill. You can get back on the road now. You can start the car, back in the traffic, whatever. Of course, you probably shouldn't be watching this while you're driving anyway, everybody.
I was thinking.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going to get so many emails. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. We're going to go to one more short break, and then we'll be right back. And I want to talk about my favorite subject, which is hope. And I know you're totally on board. So we're gonna go there in just a minute. Stick around, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a couple minutes.
change agent? You're going to love the Superpowers for Good show. I'm Devin Thorpe. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11 Eastern, I host an inspiring change maker on Achieve TV. Join us right here on E360 TV.
Right. Okay. And of course, I'm writing stuff down over here that we need to talk about after the show, because there's with this military connection and everything. I mean, yeah. So we're gonna be touching base here after the show for a couple things, because we got to. You're doing some awesome stuff, and I want to connect you with some people. So, but before we get there, I have a question that I ask everybody on the show, and it's kind of what's propped me up my whole life, and it's hope. So I after everything you've been through, and what a journey. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface. I feel like an hour is not enough. But with everything you've been through, how do you find hope?
Yeah, that is an excellent question, because that is the one thing that got me through all of it, right? You can have all the tools in the world, you can have all the knowledge and wisdom in the world, but if you don't have hope backing you up, then what's the point? You don't have any reason to move forward.
Yeah.
So hope has been the one thing that not only in my personal journey that I've been focusing on, but as a studying neuropsychologist, also focusing on being that doctor that I wish I would have had at 19, walk in that room and say something along the lines of, you've been dealt a rough hand here, but I'll tell you what, I can't make any promises or guarantee anything, but I'm going to be right here by your side trying to figure this thing out with you, and we'll work on this. Something along those lines is the type of doctor I want to be. So hope continues to move me forward over and over again. And funny enough, where I found it was in the training. No matter what, when you really fizzle it all down, everything that you're trained to do in the military is to manage several things, and especially during emergency situations. So one of the things during SEER and POW training, which is some of our special trainings, they instill, never give up. You're not forgotten. We're always looking for you. There's always one more thing you can do. Just keep trying to escape, keep trying to resist, never give up. You are the warrior you've been looking for. And that has just rung true for me through my entire life, and just something I continually remind myself of. Like, don't give up, man. There's always, always, always something you can do.
Right. As long as you're on the north side of the sod, there's always hope, right?
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, as long as you're fogging up a mirror, you've still got another day. So
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. And along with that, I know I kind of have an idea of, I have a feeling I know kind of how you're going to answer this, but I want to hear it anyway. What, especially along the same vein of everything that you've been through, what's something that you're thankful for?
Oh man, I'm thankful that I broke my neck. I'm thankful that I was diagnosed with stage 2 colon cancer. I'm thankful for these things because they highlighted an area in my life that needed a lot of attention. And it also gave me there's nothing else to focus on right now factor. You know what I mean? It's like you want to learn how to walk again? Do you want to beat cancer, or do you want to manage bills and worry about a job and all these other things? Or do you just want to focus on your healing right now? So yeah, I'm thankful for those things, because in what I do, I say it all the time. What if the worst thing that happened to you is the best thing to happen for you?
Right. Oh, that's cool. Wait, say that again.
What if the worst thing that happened to you could be the best thing that happened for you?
That's beautiful. I love it. That should be that's got to be a T-shirt or a bumper sticker or something somewhere.
It's coming.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Yeah, we have some shirts we're making.
Next time you're on the show, I want you wearing that T-shirt.
I will. Absolutely. Yeah.
Send me one. Maybe I'll wear it too.
I absolutely will. Yeah, we'll coordinate.
We'll just wear them together. That's awesome. Oh man. So I know we've got about 10 minutes left, so I don't want to go too crazy, but because I mean time flies. It's always we always run out of time sooner than we want to, but there's a book called Becoming Supernatural that had a huge impact for you. How do you incorporate that? You obviously incorporate that into your routine and your everything you're doing now, right? How do you do that?
Yeah, so it's incorporated in my personal practice. As far as professionally, I send people Dr. Joe's way because who better to teach his work than himself?
Right.
But my work does mirror a lot of the same concepts. And Becoming Supernatural, my goodness, it was like a quantum leap forward for quantum science and for, actual quantifiable data to show people like this is not woo-woo stuff. Like meditation and breath work works. It's not this woo stuff that we thought it once was. Like we're noticing nominal physiological changes. So yeah, that book changed everything for me. And I suggest if you have not read it, read it. I mean, it's a turner. You're not going to be able to put it down.
Becoming Supernatural. And who wrote it again?
Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh, that's Joe Dispenza. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hey, we've heard his name a couple times.
We have.
It's like it's important to this story or something. I don't know.
And he's the reason I created the Willful Warrior. So with his little nudge.
Oh my gosh. Well, there you go. So if anyone is interested in, obviously anybody that's been watching this is going to want to reach out. How do they do that? What's the best way to for the healing with yoga, resources, books, tools, all the stuff? Where do you point them?
Yeah, so the best place to come for real-time answers is that willfulwarrior.community. And that is that group that we talked about that also has doctors in the field and many of the Dr. Joe Advanced students. And then we also have our website that they can go to, which has FAQs on what is breath work, what is it doing in my body, and these other questions that you might have that will also give you some answers. And then we have our email there on the website. So if they go there and they want to ask a specific question, please email us at thewillfulwarrior@gmail.com.
Willfulwarrior@gmail.com. That's like if they don't want to put it out there on the community or something, or anonymity.
Yeah. If you want to private message me because what you got going on is maybe a little embarrassing, or you just want to keep it private, please.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Cause that's why we say at the beginning, about, don't throw out, no specifics. If you don't want to, be known or anything, it's okay. We just want to help, we don't care about, identities or anything. If you just need the help, you need the help. I get it. So
exactly.
So any upcoming projects that you've got going on that you want to get out there?
Yeah. We have the Healing Breathwork Fundamentals, which just came out a couple of weeks ago, and we're leaving a really huge discount on that for everybody for the holidays. And inside of that 5-week course, there are it's just 2 classes or sessions a week, basically, but you get to dive into what is actually, I described the neuroscience and the psychology side of things, of what's actually happening in your body when you take what you did earlier, 60 seconds to freedom. And so far, we already have had MS patients messaging us, telling us they're feeling things they haven't felt in years. They're starting to move limbs that they haven't moved in a while, eliminating things, which is, as everybody probably knows, a key piece in your healing, getting rid of toxins and such, and much, much more. So that is one of our big ones that we're really excited about right now, because there's already hundreds of people finding some just really, really serious value inside of this, especially on whatever medical condition they're dealing with. And like I said, we're dealing with all of it. You name it, and we have somebody in there.
Man, obviously, the show is called Invisible Conditions, but this helps with anything.
Yeah, anything. And to your point, invisible condition, what's the one that finally is getting some press that has always been ignored? Mental health, right? One of the biggest invisible conditions ever are mental health, PTSD, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideations. This helps the most with mental health issues. And that's what, per our conversation, I finally figured out, right? I was handling the physical side all by itself. And then once I realized what this could do for me, the breath work and yoga for my mental state, game changer. Everything changed.
Oh man. And well, and in a town like where I live in Colorado Springs, there are, let's see, 2 Air Force bases, 1 Army base, Cheyenne Mountain, Space Force, and the Air Force Academy.
Right.
They're all here. We have military. You can't throw a rock in any direction without coming across 1 or 2 people in uniform. And so this town is screaming for something like that, because I mean, with what is it, every 22 seconds? Or is it 22?
It was 22 a day. Now we're upwards of 44 a day, which is 1 every 33 minutes.
1 every 33 minutes. Good Lord. Yeah, we got to cut that out.
Yeah.
We got to. That's insane. I had no idea it had doubled like that. That's wow.
And while that's alarming, not to take away from the civilian population, but what we've noticed, especially since COVID, is a huge, like 60 to 70% increase in the civilian population suicides as well.
Yeah.
Big deal right now.
I mean, isolation is not good for humanity. Who knew?
Yeah, we're social creatures. You grow in a human. How more connected to a human can you be?
You mean the isolation they did at the beginning of 2020 was a bad idea? Come on, get out of here. So, all right. Well, I am so excited that we were able to connect, and I am so thankful that we got to do this. And is there any last minute thing that you want to throw out there? Any last minute words of wisdom or anything? We got about 2 minutes left.
Yeah. It's one of the things I actually mention it in our healing fundamentals course. Is the biggest thing is what are you looking or willing to exchange for what you are looking for, right? So many of us, we just want the pill to fix the thing. And sometimes we need a pill or sometimes we need surgery. But in many cases, it is just us actually taking action that gets us to where we want to go. So I say it to my warriors all the time. The price for anything in life is the time that you're willing to exchange for that. So what are you willing to do for yourself? In a society where we work 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day for somebody else's dream, and then we scroll through Netflix for 2 to 3 hours and, phase through our Facebook page for hours on end. We get home and then it's yoga or breath work. Oh, I don't have time for that. That is the big thing I highlight to all of my people. Like, where can you exchange just a little bit of your Netflix time, just a little bit of whatever you have taking you away from you to just breathe and move?
Yeah. Well, and people always say, well, I want this out of my life. I want to take this out, take this out, take this out. But you have to replace it with something.
Exactly.
You have to. If you just take something out that you don't want and you don't fill it with something you do want, inevitably that thing is going to creep back in. So, yeah, you have to replace it with something positive. So,
absolutely. Yeah, we're an organic machine running a program. 95% of everything you do is subconscious.
Yeah.
When you think about going to the bathroom, you walk to the bathroom.
Right?
It's like you don't have to think about all these things like beating your heart or whatever else, because there's programs built around that. And like you said, if you don't change or replace that thing's going to come right back because it's been programmed in there.
Exactly. That's it, man. Well, hey, Leland, thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor to have you here. I'm so grateful that we found the time and did this. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
You too. All right, everybody. I wish we had 2 hours. I wish we had more time. He's definitely coming back. He's definitely coming back because we got so much more to talk about. But here's the deal. We're already in mid-December. So we're coming, 2023 is coming to an end. I hope you are having an amazing December and an amazing Christmas season. Our next show will be December 15th. If you have a favorite episode or a favorite guest or anything, share it out. If it's your favorite, it's probably somebody else's favorite too. So, and anybody that wants to help us further this mission and further this message, I would love to talk to you. My email is in the show notes at the bottom of the page. So anyway, have an amazing day. We will see you on the next one here shortly. We'll see you soon.